how did it feel to be back, mixing it up with the big boys in the Ghana Premier League?
It's an amazing feeling for the All Blacks fraternity. We are happy to be back in the Ghana Premier League. And playing your first game away to a side like Nations FC, it wasn't an easy game. Immediately we saw the fixtures. All of us came to terms with the kind of pressure the GPL comes with it. Especially when we are going to play a side which nearly won last season's Premier League title at home. It was a difficult game, but there are some positives that we can pick up from that particular game against Nations. Though we lost by 2-1, we scored the first goal. They came back to equalize and also get the match winner to grab the 3 maximum points. There are things that I think all of us we've learned from that particular game, but we are going to build upon it and see how we are going to fare in the subsequent games.
Based on, not based on, but now that you've made it here, you've played your first game. How are the fans feeling? Did you have? I'm sure you took some fans with you to Abraham Kesse. How did they take in the experience? And in your position as brands and comms, how are you trying to get more of the fans to come along as you go on this Premier League journey?
Already, we started some activations in Swedro and its environs. All Blacks goes beyond the shores and borders of Swedro. So we are looking at how we can mobilize more supporters to watch our home games. Not only the upcoming weekend game, but we are looking at all the 17 home games that will be playing in Swedro. How we can make the stadium lively, entertaining, and also ensure that supporters get the value for their money. So we started some activations here in Swedro yesterday. Today we are going to continue with it. Supporters, sensitization. We need to educate supporters about the game, certain modifications that GFA has asked us to erect at the stadium. So it won't be the normal Division 1 league experience. There are places that you will not be allowed to enter. There are places that you'll be restricted from entering. Also, the kind of amount that we used to take at the gate when we were playing in Division 1, it's not the same. So we are working on it. We are looking at rolling out the gate fees by the close of today. We're supposed to wrap up with that with the GFA yesterday, but I am sure we'll be able to come out with those things by close of today. But talking about the Nations game, I think we had about 2 buses from Swedro full of supporters who came, and those who drove in their own cars from Accra, Swedro and its environs, also to Abraham Kesse to come and watch the game. So it gives us some projections how we can go about, because the popular stand they were taking, I think, 26 at Abraham Kesse also. Including the affairs and everything, this is the main business. It tells you when you're even doing research, you take a sample of the entire population to, make some decisions. So it gives us some feedbacks that we need to work on, especially in our home games. And I know they'll be coming to watch. This thing they have been anticipating for the past 16 years. They want to watch Premier League match at Swedro and not watching any other team but their own club, Swedro All Blacks. So we are going to work this week. We are going to work very hard to ensure that we have a violent, home game against Berkham Chelsea.
Great. Finally, I'm reading here that the club has been charged by the GFA for not properly identifying players, or simply put, for players not having their names on the back of their jerseys from match day 1 when you took on Nations FC on the road. From a brand's perspective, what would be your reaction to this charge by the GFA? How has that happened, and what plans do you have to remedy this going forward?
Okay, so yes, there was some delay in delivering of the kits from the manufacturer to our side. And but yesterday, I spoke to the general manager of the club because we have to send our response to the charge. So he has done that. But the immediate remedy yesterday, we've done something about it. Today we'll finish with all the names. We'll emboss all the names at the back. We're supposed to get the names of the players at the back of the jerseys for the away jersey. So we're unable, since the jersey arrived very late during the weekend, so we had to use it like that. So but we'll rectify it this weekend to be different, and replica jerseys for All Blacks. If you want us to even emboss your name, Nathan Power at the back, we can do it. Yes.
I see. So where can, for those who are interested, where can they get copies, or where can they get the replicas to purchase, assuming people want to wear them and propagate the gospel of Swedru All Blacks?
Okay. So when you go to Tank Palace, front desk,
okay,
we are telling some over there in Accra. Currently, we are Tank Palace are part of our sponsors. We've given them that opportunity to also sell our kits for us. But on social media, we'll be putting up some numbers whereby you can call us within Accra and its environs, whereby whenever you call, somebody will be able to assist you and get you the jerseys or get it delivered to your end. So, as I said, the embossment of the players' names at the back of the jerseys, it will be done this week. So we shouldn't be worried about it.
All right. Thank you, Nathaniel. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning. Welcome back to the big time. Commiserations on not winning, but I'm sure you get a lot more points on the board as and when, as the league moves on.
Yes. Yes, sure. Yeah, we are optimistic about that.
All right. Nathaniel, thank you so much, and wish you guys the very best.
Thank you very much.
All right. That was Nathaniel Obin, Brands and Communications Manager, Swedru All Blacks. So it says, yes, they admit they didn't have player names on the jerseys. Yes, but that will be rectified. They'll respond to the GFA and then they'll rectify that. So the next time, hopefully, you see Swedru All Blacks play in the Ghana Premier League, which is next weekend or this coming weekend, they will have proper identification done. So you know who's player A and player B. 7:31. Let's get back to the main event. So as I said in the news, King Faisal say they want to go to court, or they are in court actually, and they have served the Ghana Football Association. Now, I'm going to read to you a press release put out by King Faisal's legal counsel, or the person mandated to speak, or the person whose name was under the press release, okay? And it says, legal challenge to GFA's alleged August 12 AGM and resolution filed at Court of Arbitration for Sport.
This is Sporty FM, the voice of
right?
sport.
So that's the thing, Ray. So I'm going through the statement. It's a 2-page statement, okay? So listeners, just pay attention, and then we're all good to go. So it says, King Faisal Football Club of Kumasi, Ghana, represented by Evans Adikat Law, can confirm that the GFA was formally served with a legal challenge to the alleged annual general meeting, AGM, held on the 12th of August 2025, and the resolution allegedly passed during that meeting. This challenge, filed at the Court of Arbitration for Sport in Lausanne, Switzerland, seeks to address significant governance and procedural irregularities that undermine the legitimacy of the GFA's actions related to and during the alleged AGM. King Faisal Football Club asserts that the GFA's inaction and actions render the August 12 AGM and its outcomes invalid. Specifically, King Faisal Football Club asserts that GFA's intentional failure. Now, listeners, listen to this carefully. The GFA's intentional failure to deposit the normalization statute with the Office of the Registrar of Companies following the FIFA Normalization Committee's tenure from August 2018 to October 2019 is the foundation for several procedural missteps that ensued and warrant legal address. Okay?
Sporty FM.
Now, the challenge is based on 5 critical legal grounds and 6 specific reliefs. 1. Abridged notice period without the unanimous consent of members. So, 1 abridged notice period without the unanimous consent of members. They're talking about the Congress. So, the Congress notice, they say it was abridged and it was without the consent of members.
Right.
2. Undisclosed real and potential conflicts of interest involving the chairperson of the AGM. Undisclosed real and potential conflicts of interest involving the chairperson of the AGM. We'll get to that in a bit, so take note. Ray will explain. 3. Improper bundling of issues voted on and overvoting. Improper bundling of issues voted on and overvoting. So, points 2 and 3. Now, for those who listened to the interview we conducted before Congress, or was it on the day of Congress? It was before. We spoke to Mr. Adeka and he talked about this potential conflict of interest, either perceived or real. Ray, and I think you even mentioned it.
Yeah,
That
I brought it up.
You brought it up. That an election is going to happen. Days or weeks or months to the election, those who are going to, the shareholders, as it were, are being given all kinds of goodies. So for some, this creates a certain perception that giving them these goodies is to almost soften them up to go with you in terms of a decision.
That's correct.
Some people think that it is true, you have softened them up. Some people believe that the optics will look like you are softening them up. So either way, there seems to be an issue. So King Faisal said they want this to be dealt with. Then the improper bundling of issues voted on and overvoted. Remember, I made this point that how is it that different things, so the question we asked initially was that different things were said. Term limits for the office or extension of term limits for the office of the GFA president, and then the fact that they did an amendment that would make a woman now the GFA the second vice president.
Yeah.
Good. And then I think it was Frederick Echampa who said, all these things were under one article.
Yes.
So that's the response from the GFA. We'll get to Mr. Adeka on the line. So listeners, just take note that Mr. Adeka is on the line. I just want to finish reading the press statement. 4, denial of poll after a show of hands. And then 5, undue influence. So what are the reliefs that Mr. Adeka and King Faisal are looking for? King Faisal Football Club is seeking the following reliefs from CAS. 1, an injunction restraining the GFA from implementing or enforcing the resolution pending the outcome of this arbitration. 2, a declaration that the alleged AGM held on the 12th of August and the alleged resolution passed therein are null and void due to conflicts of interest and several procedural breaches. 3, an order recusing the GFA Executive Council from participating in the remedial measures. 4, an order directing the GFA to amend the normalization statute to comply with Ghanaian law and for subsequent registration with the ORC in compliance with Ghanaian law. And then 5, an order carving out the current president of the GFA from any future attempts to amend the terms of his office while he's still in office, and then cost and any other relief that CAS deems fit to grant. This challenge is a crucial step towards ensuring accountability within the GFA. We are committed to pursuing this arbitration to protect the law's future. Evans Selassie Adika Esquire, Evans Adika Law, and then he goes on to provide some details.
I know you have problem.
We'll play problem, I beg. But Mr. Adika is on.
Okay.
Let's listen to Mr. Selassie, Evans Selassie Adika. He put out this press release and his legal counsel for King Faisal. We want to now understand what they want from all of this. Mr. Adeka, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning. Welcome to the Sporty Breakfast.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on your show. And good morning to your cherished listeners and viewers all over the world and in Ghana.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having patience as I had to go through the press release. So I've read a lot of very interesting things here. Can you just break it down for us? First point, you say that all the things that the GFA has done, all these things are not grounded in law because they didn't send some paperwork, as it were, to the office of the Registrar of Companies. Can you explain that part to all of us so we understand the crux of your argument?
Yes, certainly. I don't know if you are privy to our appeal brief or the statement of appeal that sets out all the facts that are relevant to this inquiry. And chief among them that's germane to your question is that in 2019, the normalization committee was appointed in 2018.
Yes.
And the term was extended in March 2019. Between March 2019 and the end of their tenure in October, Ghana changed its regime as it pertains to the law of companies. A new law was enacted that repealed the old law. And this new law applies to every entity, including entities that are registered, that are limited by guarantee, like the GFA. And so it was incumbent on the process to make references to the new law, because that is the law, that's the national law. FIFA requires its member associations to be incorporated as legal entities in some way or form compliant with their national law. Okay. That is the baseline. That's the baseline of the regulatory environment.
Okay.
So,
before you proceed, is that why the GFA is registered the way it is in terms of the law in Ghana?
Yes, FIFA doesn't necessarily tell you what type of entity to choose.
Okay.
But I believe on good legal advice, the GFA figured that since it's an association, for several reasons, the best way to go was, since it's non-profit, it's sort of like a church, the best way to go was to go by limited by guarantee for several reasons that transcend the scope of this conversation.
Okay, no problem.
So just to comply with the requirement that they be registered as legal entities and have separate personhood, the GFA opted to be registered as a company limited by guarantee. So when this new law came into force in August 2019, it was incumbent on those in power to make sure that anything they did, you see, what is going on here is that we have FIFA that sits in Switzerland that makes these model rules, right? For example, the FIFA statute is essentially a model rule that they encourage the member associations to adopt, right?
Okay.
But you cannot adopt it willy-nilly without making crucial adjustments based on national law. For the most part, most of the doctrines that FIFA tries to embody in its statute are consistent with good governance.
Okay.
So you would find that there's not that much disconnect or crossover. I think that disconnect is the appropriate word between what FIFA wants and what the national laws require.
Okay.
But there are nuances that are based on the specific circumstances in each jurisdiction. So in Ghana, the former Attorney General and his advisors and the stakeholders who went into framing and drafting and then passing this legislation thought it's prudent to include certain safeguards. Most of it is to protect minority rights, right, in the governance of companies. But then there are also certain prerequisites to enjoying the benefits of some of the powers that are in the law, right?
Okay.
So this law, basically, because the law changed the entire regime, the law also came up with a compliant constitution for companies. If you've ever registered a company in Ghana, you will know that when you first register, there's a generic constitution that comes with your registration documents, right?
Okay.
That is because most entrepreneurs in Ghana are doing it, they do it by themselves. They figure out that a limited liability company or whatever form they choose is easy if you know someone who works. There are people who are third parties who outsource their services to register companies on your behalf once you complete all the documents, right? So most people are not going to talk to a lawyer before registering a company. So they go with the default statute that comes with the law.
Okay.
The default statute has been well thought of, scrutinized by Parliament for compliance with the legal regime, the text of the law. So the default statute is sort of is compliant, right? It's compliant with the new law. So if you have not gone to a lawyer to really get one that's custom made and is compliant, then most likely you just refer on the default until your business grows and you make money and you can afford a lawyer. You can go back and revisit that issue, right?
Okay.
So that's how things generally work. So the Registrar General, the office of the law, not the Registrar General, the office of the law itself said, since companies have been in existence and people are going to form new companies, here is their position on what binds the company and its members. It says that on the coming into force of this law, if you have anything that you want to be considered as your governing legal document, your constitution, then you need to file it with the ORC. And upon filing it, then it becomes the law of your company. But if you don't, then you are bound by the compliance statute that is found in, there are several schedules that come with the law, right? The schedules contain a model, even I think Schedule 8 governs how AGMs are held or meetings of companies are held. Schedule 4 pertains specifically to companies registered by guarantee.
Okay.
So if you do not comply by registering your law or your regulation or your statute or your constitution, whichever one of those terms you choose to use, then you are bound by the compliance default constitution that came with the law. That is the essence of what the new Companies Act 992 says on this subject. So what we did was in the lead up to, I was on your show. Yes. I think in the run up to the elections, and I didn't go into detail about these things, but I spoke about the process and the procedure.
Yes, I remember.
Because this was my line of thought. Because as a company lawyer, whenever I'm approached on any of this issue, the first thing I do is to look at the foundational documents to see what we are working with. So when knowing this, what I just explained to you, I've dealt with this in litigation and commercial courts, and the answer is uncontestable. Is that if you don't register it, you are bound by the default law, because that is what complies with what the statute requires now in Ghana. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you can draft your statute, and it has certain things that run afoul of Ghanaian law. Your statute can never be supreme when it is compared to Ghanaian law. Ghanaian law would always be supreme. So where you run afoul, you are in trouble. Okay. So that is the reason why it is good that you can draft your own statutes, but you need to look at what Ghanaian law requires that people in your position or people with your similar factual circumstances must do. So we conducted a search just to be thorough. And this is, and I would think that, not to bash anybody, but, we're all learning, and these things, that's just the nature of these things. So, basically, we conducted a search and found out that, basically, the GFA, the normalization statute, which is the 2019 statute, was not filed. We got a company examiner, or we have a search report done in a regular course of business. You cannot contest it. That resoundingly supports the facts that I'm stating. So on the basis of that, we now went to read what that default constitution says.
Okay, so if you said the default constitution, you are saying what the GFA's default constitution?
Yes, no. In this case, it is the GFA's constitution, but it's the default constitution that comes with Act 992.
Okay, which is when I've gone to create a company or register a company, the default
or even if you have a company before the law came into force, you are now supposed to get your legal team, figure out what you need to do and comply.
Okay,
so it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse that I was in existence before the law came. No.
Okay, so which means that after the law, I just want to simplify so everybody understands. So we are saying that with the new law, even if I set up a company under the old law, I must bring it so everything tallies now.
That's what legal compliance is. Yes,
so everything falls under the new law, and I'm on the good side of the law.
Pardon me? Yeah, you need to comply. That's what compliance is in the new.
Okay, all right. Let's proceed.
Okay, so from the facts that I have gathered, the law came into force. They tabled this new law based on FIFA's general requirements, but it was never registered, and it needs to be registered to bind the FA and bind its members, because that is the document with which they govern themselves, the relationship that they have.
Okay.
But unbeknownst to the members, the FA, which I don't know at this point, I can't say. I believe it may be willful, just on the basis that if you look at their audited account, they spend so much money on legal and professional fees. I cannot believe, or I cannot assume that it is an oversight. There may be a legitimate legal reason for them doing what choosing the path that they chose to chart. I wouldn't. I would assume, because if you're paying legal fees, then I'm thinking this is a judgment call, right?
Okay.
So we based on our understanding of the law, now we look at the procedure that this constitution prescribes for the meeting. Because remember, even if your drafted law says something otherwise, other than what the law requires, the law is what is going to prevail. Which is why the model or the default constitution exists. If you don't want to go and pay legal fees and deal with understanding what you must do, then you can just go with the default constitution, right? So basically, once I figured that out, I figured, okay, let's look at what the law requires in terms of notice for meeting of members. There are the two types of meeting of members: ordinary meetings and general meetings. What are the notice requirements? And what happened? What are the specific facts that I am confronted with in this particular case? And if there's no compliance, then the next question is, what is the legal result of non-compliance? So that is basically what led us into all of these issues. So all of these issues that we have raised before the Court of Arbitration for Sport, fortunately for us, have been dealt with under our domestic laws, and their answers to every single one of those issues that we have raised. Our research suggests that we are in the right. And the Court of Arbitration for Sports jurisprudence has also handled a lot of these issues. And you won't be surprised, many of them come from our part of the world, where people have tried to, for example, it is presumptively illegal to make distributions to voters on the eve of the announcement of the meeting at which the vote is going to be tabled. That is CAS jurisprudence. So that is the case even without looking at the real intent behind it. It is presumed that if you do that, it is improper.
Okay. So, Mr. Adekaf, if you say to make distributions, what do you mean? What does the law mean by that phrase?
So for basically, you have people who are going to be casting a vote, right, at a meeting.
Yes.
And on the eve, you send them notice that there's a meeting coming up, and the convocation document contains the amendments or the decisions that are going to be made. And then you come out and say, oh, by the way, free lunch for everybody when you come to the meeting. Or, that's what I mean. Like, it can range from free lunch to things of high pecuniary value, the timing. Remember, I was on your show talking about the timing. Timing.
Yes,
and what the law says about the timing is, if the timing is close to a critical decision-making event, it is presumptively illegal. without even going into what your intent was or what you wanted to do, it is deemed manipulative in nature. So we did our research on these points, and we decided, you know what, let's I advise my client accordingly that this is viable, and let's pursue it for the good of Ghana football. We are not here to malign anyone. We are not here to bash anyone. I've said repeatedly, anyone who has put his personal career or whatever private work they were doing to come and lead an organization deserves some respect. And so we are not. This is nothing personal. This is the law that must work, and it must work for everybody.
Okay. Yes, I want to find out the legal grounds for your challenge. The bit about the extension of the third term. Can you just can you throw more light on that?
I don't think the third term is a ground on its own. The extension. You might want to make a cross reference to the documents and then see exactly what you want to ask.
Okay. So you were saying that. Okay, you've mentioned the.
So we dealt with the notice. There's the notice. The issue of the abridged notice.
Of interest, abridged notice, and all. I just want to ask something now. If I go through your press statement, you talk about the legal missteps which you've made a reference to, i.e., the thing with the Office of the Registrar of Companies and the new amendments or amendments not being submitted. So I just want to ask: does it mean that from that time onwards, decisions taken by the FA are null and void? Is that what we should understand?
Well, there's a statute of limitations for challenging things, and in some instances they are told if the injured party is not aware, right? So a lot has gone on that we have not gone. Quite frankly, just getting where we are right now took a month of 12, 15-hour days. So we have not really gone back to look at what has transpired, whether they were proceeding, what law they were proceeding under for a lot of the other things that they have done.
Okay.
Well, but I also say this to say that generally most of the powers that have been exercised would most likely be valid, right, over the years, because FIFA's governance documents capture most of the principles of good governance. Where there's going to be a disconnect is on real technical things that are based on time, that are based on procedure, things that are based. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm following.
So we have not delved into what happened in the past. What we know is that our clients did not know that this was the state of affairs.
Okay.
Because I guess in that relationship between the members and the association, is a sort of uneven relationship where basically the members are being told what to do by the association, and the association is the party that is expending company funds to pay professionals, to get advice on these highly technical issues. So I don't think that the members not being aware is something that could be hung on their necks. I think the regulatory body whose laws it is that they have prescribed for their relationship with the members, I think that it was incumbent on them to make sure that they were compliant. But whether we would go back and try to see a lot of the legal effect of some of those things, like I said, is beyond the scope of what we are doing right now. What we're doing right now is looking at this particular AGM, and we are saying that based on the fact that they are relying on the wrong document, and knowing the key changes that have been implemented, they couldn't have complied with the requirements of Ghanaian law in making this resolution.
Okay.
So that is, and we know obviously the first point that we canvass is that notice, for example, is deficient, because the new law states that the notice must be 21 days unless it is a certain kind of meeting, which is not applicable in this case, or unless the members have previously unanimously agreed to abridge the notice period. So it is incumbent on the FA now. I believe that based on the fact that they are proceeding on the wrong document, it is going to be impossible for them to produce anything that suggests that the members have unanimously, which would have required a valid AGM at which this issue was tabled and everybody voted and said, yes, let's shorten the period. My client informs me that nothing of that sort has happened and is ready to, and my witnesses are ready to testify to that fact.
Okay.
So that in essence, the burden of proof now falls on the FA to produce proof that in fact people have agreed to shorten the notice.
Okay.
Why is notice germane to having a fair vote? Obviously, based on some of the evidence that we have presented in court, our client was definitely looking to engage the FA on some of these issues. But owing to the fact that the notice was abridged and certain technical issues that happened, that discourse never happened. Members of an association should have enough time to mull over the documents that they get before a meeting, so they can go to the meeting and make informed decisions. Yeah. We have, I have a client who abstained for the vote because they were just confused as to what was going on. And you guys in the media space are very aware of this fact that some people abstained. Yes, why would someone abstain? They abstained because the notice period was too short. These were complex issues that some of them had begun talking to people like me about, and we're being informed that, hey, maybe even the law that they are standing on is not the law, and so that's the reason why short notice. That's the wisdom in giving 21 days notice, so that all the issues that can come up, there could be meaningful stakeholder engagement, and if there's a need for both parties to make some compromises, then that will be done. But to shorten the meeting and then a lot of the things that transpired, and then all of a sudden it's like everything was so rushed.
Okay. I was asking you something earlier concerning the term. I think this is part of the reliefs you are seeking. So I just want clarity on two things. So I think the third relief says that an order recusing the current GFA Executive Council from participating in the remedial measures, and then the fifth relief, I believe, says that an order carving out the current president of the GFA from any future attempts to amend the terms of his office while still in office. Can I just give us some clarity on these two things? One concerning the EXCO and the other concerning the current GFA president and any future attempt to amend his time in office.
Okay, so that goes into issues of conflict of interest. Yeah. Obviously, there have been some failures, some administrative failures, because the FA has different organs that speak for it, right? For things to be considered acts of a company. Okay. One of them is the ESCO headed by the president. They have superintended over a lot of this stuff. The amendment process. They formed a subcommittee that didn't catch this basic non-compliance of having to register the statute. Which goes into the motivations behind the formation of this subcommittee, whether they were really doing a general amendment or it was to produce a specific result. And so when we have people who superintended this process, they cannot be in charge of remedying it, especially if a member has to spend good money to go to a very expensive forum to be able to get this eventual. It wouldn't even be a concession if we have to go to arbitration to get them to agree that this is wrong. So I don't think they will survive a conflict of interest inquiry after the fact. So for good, just so we don't slow things down, because obviously now the FAs, based on what I'm saying, there's a lot of remediation that needs to go on, and they cannot, serve as a bottleneck to the process. So they need to humbly and respectfully excuse themselves. Let's get some new folks in there to do what's right, to get the FA back on track, so that the Ghana football can be what we all believe it can become in a very near future.
Okay. So I guess that also goes with... And
on the bit about recusal of carving out the current president.
Yes.
That bit transcends our time today. I don't think we have enough time to discuss that bit. But it's also on the basis of real and potential conflicts of interest. For example, under the new law, and based on what transpired at the AGM, he is the chairperson of the meetings of the members.
Yes.
And at a meeting where the terms of his office, right, no one can run away from this fact. This is the subject of the votes was an extension of the terms of the office he occupies. Okay. This is not about him.
So it's about the office, not the person occupying the office.
Well. It's a two-step inquiry. The first thing is that the vote pertains to the office that this person, who is the chairperson of the meeting, is currently occupying.
Yes.
That is a conflict of interest.
Okay.
Because if the office was not valuable, he would not be occupying it, right? So the law says that there's a tendency, it actually presumes that there's bias, and that's the reason why it is held as a conflict. So that is a real conflict that we say he failed to disclose in this case, right? And we say that is an impediment to his continued eligibility for that office. So that's one point. The other point is that he potentially, because the first point I made is for non-disclosure of the conflict of interest that existed at the alleged AGM that was held on August 12th. Mm-hmm. I say our position is that it was incumbent on him to disclose it in writing.
Okay.
Then we move on to say that moving forward, he also has a potential conflict of interest, which the law recognizes. The conflict does not need to be real to be actionable. He has a potential conflict of interest because even though he has refused to state whether or not he's going to stand, that does not fix the problem. The fact that you might possibly benefit from what you are superintending is a conflict of interest, a potential conflict of interest that warrants recusal or being carved out of the law. Based on what has transpired, since we need to go and get a declaration for this to happen, the best way to move forward is that as long as he is in office and this is going to go on again, there's going to be another attempt to do this, he needs to be carved out to prevent repeat litigation. So that is basically the essence of that point. And like I said, these are all allegations that we have put before the arbitrators. We believe we have facts to support it, but at this point, until the evidence is accepted and there's a declaration to that effect, those are our positions.
Okay. I mean, so based on all of this, I guess it would be quite premature to ask you about timelines and when we could possibly, know when this will end and all, right?
Yeah, it's going to take a while because, we have also filed for some requests to produce related to the distributions that were made to the members in terms of the 18 million and the buses that were distributed to the Division 1 clubs.
Okay.
I believe that's a fight within a fight. Whether or not they will take positions regarding the need to disclose those things, and that might, then because we think that those are very important to a full evaluation of the issues raised by this action that we have taken. So I can't give you timelines. They have been served, I believe, as of yesterday. They're going to have 20 days to respond, and then we'll get into these issues of discovery and request of notice to produce, and then, they will take its normal course. Once again, this is not to disparage anyone. This is not to malign anyone. This is for the good of Ghana football. Because quite frankly, this is the first real football administration that we have had in this country. Because football people are manned by football people. I believe the entity era was a foundation where a lot of good things were done, but post normalization I consider it a new period, and so we just need to keep on making sure that we demand that the right things are done, and Ghana football will flourish.
All right, Mr. Adeka, thank you so much for your time and for the clarity you've given. I'm sure we'll pour over this interview to pick out a few bones, and if there are any things, or if there are things that are unclear, we'll get back for some more clarity.
No problem. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. That was Evan Selassie Adeka, a private legal practitioner, and the person who put out the press release from yesterday, Ray, detailing the action that had been taken by King Faisal. So Mr. Adeka represents King Faisal.
Yeah.
King Faisal said they have a problem with the Congress, or as they refer to it, the AGM that the GFA held on the 12th of August, and all the resolutions passed and taken there. They say they have a problem with it because in law, there are certain things that don't sit well. And from what Mr. Adeka has explained, they have detailed what it is they want to do, and they will, that's why they've gone to the Court of Arbitration for Sport to go and plead their case there. The GFA has been duly served. The GFA has 20 days to also say what it has to say, and then we'll find out what the next step is. So, listeners, it's the start of potentially a long process, maybe a short process, nobody knows, but this is the first step that has been taken. Ray,
They can give me problem.
we should give you problem.
Yeah, give me problem.
At 9 minutes after 8
Give me problem.
on a Tuesday morning.
Give me problem.
Have problem.
Hello.
Hey!
Oh, can see sign answer.
Hey!
Nathan.
That's a very interesting matter.
Nathan, do I have to speak?
I don't know what you have
Or
to
you
say.
allow
though.
the callers to speak?
Maybe you have a
You see
word or
Nathan?
two. This is
You know, in all of this,
wow.
in all of this,
Yes.
in all of this, see, these are the issues we want legal brains like Selassie Adika to bring up. Okay, these are matters within caste jurisprudence that you want light to be shed on. Okay, you want to throw light on issues like this for people to understand. I mean, I'm sure at the FA, a lot of the things they've done thinking that, oh yes, we are well within the confines of the law, you know, we are doing everything as we should. But these are very, very technical grounds on which a lot of work you've done over the years can be thrown under the bus. Very, very technical grounds. Me, I cannot prejudge what's going to happen at CAS. But based on what council has told us, look, there are a lot of issues. Even before the election, Nathan, you remember I kept telling you, look, a few days before a decision will be taken like this, people were promising $1 million and all. Even on the day of the Congress, lots of promises were made. We said, look, before the vote was taken, I said these things could have the potential of whipping voters in a certain line. Because of the time, some of us raise concerns, but well, they say our voice can't go far. But this is a step King Faisal has taken. Once and for all, we should get closer to this matter as to whether the man who presides over the meeting, whether properly constituted or not, can benefit from any status change. Nathan, he himself has not declared as to whether he wants to benefit from the third term or not.
Yes,
but
that is true.
if the law can put it right,
In black and white,
that,
so we
look,
all know what's
you
going
cannot
on.
benefit from this. Nathan, all of these things we need. And so some of us are excited. Some of us are happy that this step has been taken. So that all the hue and cry around third term bid, no third term bid, second term bid, about even the procedures. People said they were sending emails, the emails kept bouncing. People said they didn't know the people who proposed
the said amendment.
The said amendment
Yes,
and all that, and all
I
of these
remember
things.
that.
There were issues with that Congress.
Yes, that is true.
There were lots of issues. So if this would lead us to a point where there's proper closure on some of these matters, Nathan, we would all be in support and hope that what CAS says is final. And if CAS says that, well, if CAS okay everything that has happened, fine, fair enough. If CAS says the right thing should be done, we come back and we deal with the remedies. And I think that these are the things we need to reform institutions or to continue doing what we do as far as managing these institutions are concerned, in terms of governance especially. Best practice is what we always strive for. So, Nathan, I am in full support of what is happening. And of course, the FA would also have their defense. The FA will have their day in court. And so, we'll see how things pan out in the next 20 days and how the case continues from there. But these are procedures that you cannot be running from bailiffs. These are procedures. These are procedures that you cannot lock your secretariat and let security men prevent people from entry. This kind of matters, we deal with the mail. We deal with courier services, and email transmissions. So Nathan, we wish all parties the best of luck in this matter, and we hope to see how things pan out in this case.
8:15. You know what? Give me a call. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061 or 0302 030-279-4805. 030-279-4805. You can equally send me a WhatsApp message 054-257-1061. If you are listening to the Sporty Breakfast, you have a comment on King Faisal's decision to file a suit. Ray, is that what have they done? Is it a petition or a suit? What have they done?
No, it's an appeal.
It's an appeal.
Yeah.
So they filed an appeal at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. King Faisal say they have problems with the GFA's Congress, or in company terms, what they call an AGM. Okay. MTN is telling you that they are giving you MTN free after one extra, right? Okay. My listener, please hold on for me. I need to do this. This is very important. Now, MTN is saying that they are giving you free after one extra. This is what they want you to do. Every 10 minutes you talk, you pay for the only first minute. And you get to talk for 60 minutes straight without any interruptions. Then you also get 100 MB of data for free after your first call on Saturday. So if you loved MTN free after one, this is MTN free after one extra. To subscribe, dial star 550 hash. Yes, star 550 hash. Follow the prompts and enjoy yourself. I have callers on the line. Let me take this one. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Nathan.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, this is Anobi Makate here.
Yes, please go ahead.
You say good morning once again to Raymond and Mr. Banson.
Yes, Raymond is here.
Yeah.
Good. Alaji Gusa is already a dead goat who fears no cutlass or knife or whatever again. You see, we thank God to have him, somebody like that, in that position. If he was in the Premiership division, he wouldn't have been able to go to take this step. You see, they have really penalized this man, pushed him to the wall. Now, this man is the one going to fight for the Ghana football. We are so happy. He's already down, and he's not afraid of falling again. We talk about this, all the community they were doing before the election. Everything about it was wrong. But these people refuse to listen. Now, there's somebody who is down already, who is afraid no more of falling. Now, he's taking you on. And there's no way, I don't think CAS will look at all these instances and say everything is fine. No, then the CAS itself is questionable. Because all these things that happen here, there's nobody in this country or any football fanatic who doesn't know that there were a lot of things went wrong in this election. How can you be promising 1 million?
Hold on. Before we proceed, it wasn't an election; it was a Congress.
Yes, but they elected. They re-elected what do we call it? they made a decision, an election.
It was
the voting took place.
Hold on, they didn't vote for any positions. All they did was to set out resolutions. I just want it to be clear because the GFA's electoral congress is in 2 years.
Yes, Nathan, I get it. I was wrong by saying there was an election.
No problem.
Yes,
That's
but
okay.
there was voting.
Yeah, they voted on some issues.
Yes, on amendment, on something. And in a process of going to that extent was all wrong. Everything about that was wrong. You understand? Why would you be? Let me use this word. You might not be happy with it, but why would you be bribing people in a process to go and make a decision?
Yeah, but that's also unfair to say that they are bribing people.
Why would you be bribing people in the process of going to make a decision?
They didn't bribe
which
anybody.
You might end up benefiting from
to
it.
give them things. Okay, fine. You make your point. Make your point.
So now we really want to know. The CAS should make it clear. We don't need Kurt to come and tell us, I will go, I will not go. The law should be clear that you were the one in office before the amendment was made. Therefore, you do not qualify. You can get out, someone else will come, and maybe the next 4 years after the next election, you can come and compete. That's fine. But he shouldn't like something that happened in our main election. Somebody said he's not going again. Meanwhile, the Constitution doesn't allow it. That is exactly what we want to be made clear. That you cannot go. You don't benefit from it. So you should get out. When your time is over, you go out. If you want to come again, you come. We need this thing to be clear. If nothing works out, that alone becoming clear, we will be happy with it. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. 820. Let me take some more calls. 054-257-1061. You can also send me a WhatsApp message. 054-257-1061. I think we have a caller. I'll take this one. Hello.
Hello, Nathan. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you doing, Nathan?
Yes, we are fine.
This is Faisal calling from Tema.
Okay, please go ahead.
I am so glad that Alhaji Grusa is taking this part. Do you remember before the Congress, the AGM, the General Secretary came out to tell the whole Ghana that, when you get to the Congress grounds, he would produce those who proposed that 3-term. Do you remember? Hello, Nathan?
Yes, I'm here.
Do you remember?
I'm trying to remember. It's a little fuzzy. I'm trying to remember. I can't seem to remember.
That he said that he was interviewed and he said it. When they got to the Congress ground, did he show it to them?
Okay.
Even Nathan, to be frank with you, all of us need to speak truth to power. Do you understand? The same General Secretary, there's question mark on his head. Do you remember when he was the chairman of the, how do you call it, this Royal Committee? Do you remember what he did? Udo Mensah, Daniel Goza. Do you remember in favor of the President's Club?
I remember the case. I remember.
Do you remember? So you see the situation we are in. The moment he became the heavy president, he appointed his body to be the General Secretary. Here's the situation. The clubs you sent the information to them wanted to get back to you and have a clarity on it. You blocked their email. You blocked them. So when they send email to you, the General Secretary, you don't receive it. What kind of life are we in? I think the whole effort should be brought down so that we build it again. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Quite interesting. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. You know, I find it, I sometimes see the lighter side, right? I like when people talk concerning the FA with a lot of passion and all of that. I find it really interesting. You know, if Ghanaians really could vote in GFA elections, it would be very interesting, you know. Really interesting. But certainly that's not happening that way. 054-257-1061. That's the WhatsApp number. It's the same as the call number. And you can call the other number to 030-279-4805. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Nathan.
Yes, good morning.
Is Amorim still at post?
Yes, Amorim still has a job.
What's wrong with United?
I don't know if I have the answer to that.
We should get that man out of our club, Charlie. We are suffering.
Okay.
8 wins out of 30 matches. Premier League matches.
So that's your relax. So that's your concern this morning.
Yes, that's my concern. That's all I call to ask you.
Okay.
Charlie, how much you get out of our club, Charlie?
Okay, all right. Thank you for calling. You're asking if Amorim is still at. Amorim still has a job. Anyway, 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. You can equally send us a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have some WhatsApp messages coming through. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Mr. Nathan, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
This is Charles from KG.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Nathan. Kudos to Mr. Guza for what he did, sending the case to CAS. But you see, this say Mr. Guza, okay, has been part of this FA for a very long time.
Yeah.
He will run hot and cold sometimes. It is the same Guza that he was made part of the Black Stars Management Committee.
The voice of sport.
Right. And then they went ahead and agreed on the money that they were paying.
But you know that officially the suit is from King Faisal Football Club, not Alhaji Guza, technically, because it's not his name on the lawsuit or the case. So it's King Faisal. Uh-huh.
But we all know when you mention King Faisal. We all know who we are talking about. So that is true. The case is from King Faisal.
Yeah, so the case is from King Faisal, yes.
He is a bankroller. So for us, I believe he has a hand in it, because I remember
for all you know, okay, let me, for all you know, so what if it turns out he's not even part of this and it's the other members of the club who are pushing this?
Okay, Mr. Nathan. You see, I'm basing this on the fact that, you see, before the Congress would take place,
yes,
you interviewed him.
I interviewed him, yes.
Yes, so I'm basing on that on the fact that he wasn't in support of this in the first place.
That is true. He wasn't. That is true.
Yes. So he not being in support of this, I was thinking, I'm insinuating. It's an insinuation.
So you are deducing that once he wasn't in favor, and once this has happened, then it is illogical. I understand. I'm only saying that technically, when you take the suit, and I have the suit in front of me or the appeal, Mr. Guza's name is not even on the paper.
Okay,
but anyway, proceed.
Yes. So my main point is, when it comes to this FA, okay, our problem with this FA is their posture. You see, we know it's a private entity. Okay, so they do their things amongst themselves. That's what they call the football people.
Yes.
But you see, if some parts of the country's resources, in terms of, let's say, the Black Stars, because it's the country that takes care of the Black Stars, everything in terms of payments and everything, it's the country that takes care of it. The FA is like the board or the CEO that looks after the Black Stars.
The FA is the caretaker.
Yes. So you see, in a way, they have a hand in developing this country in terms of football direction, which is one of their mandates.
That is true.
It's one of their mandates. So if we, the people here, okay, share our view, give out our opinion, that some of the things you guys are doing, because we cannot all own football clubs in this country to be able to have a say in the FA, we just give out an opinion. All we need from you guys is just a listening ear. Just listen and take into account our opinion. But what do? Oh, they're using to be our attitude. They go ahead and they do whatever they pleases the football people. See, hearing that word alone is even what kind of it pleases us off. Sorry if I'm using a very strong word. The football people. You see, so you go ahead and then make a congress and then adjust a statute that you know very well it will bring issues. It is the same issues that led to Mr. Nancy having himself into trouble, because if you stay so long in one place, you begin to feel so comfortable in the sense that things that go around you, you don't seem to care about it because you are so comfortable. You feel like the overlord of the place. So you don't put in much to see the wrong that you are doing. That is the reason why the normalization committee came in. That is the reason why Kwesi Nyatetu found himself in that situation. So why would you then go after researching, go back to the same thing that led to your former boss finding himself in trouble? It doesn't make sense. What I thought is in the IFA that all the time people go there and then they start let me say behaving there. What I thought is this. Look at the whole big man like Randy, Mr. Randy. Now, Mr. Randy could go and sit in front of a committee and justify the reason.
Dr. Randy.
Sorry. Dr. Randy will go and sit in front of the whole committee and justify the reason why management members should be given some amount of payment. While they don't take a single ball. You see, it is their posture. The way they disregard our opinion, that is what infuriates. If you just listen to it, we don't have issues. We are not saying you should always do what we like. No. But when they say when you are walking, you don't see your back. It is someone that will prompt you to that. Oh, there is something happening at your back. There's your dress is torn at your back. So if the person prompts you, it doesn't mean the person is looking for a downfall. The person is prompting you because there's an issue that you need to be aware of. Okay. But no, these FA people, they don't. That's my little contribution this morning. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. You can send us your messages 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. What do you make of the appeal filed by King Faisal at the Court of Arbitration for Sport? They want a lot of things resolved. 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Let me take this caller. Hello? Yes.
You're there.
Yours, Emmanuel.
Okay. Later.
Yes, Emmanuel.
This thing no rule on
that. Why?
Ali, before the Congress, there was some injunction. Am I lying?
Well, Ray, was that an injunction? They were trying to find the FA to serve them.
It was an injunction, but
yes,
there was no service.
But there was no service.
So, hey, these people, you don't know them. Later, you don't know these football people.
What have they done? What have football people done this morning?
Your cases are there. Mata, go and take care of them. See, you can't break these people down. You can't break them down. Charlie, this is the second command of how they call it of Carrefour. The second in command. He knows everything he's doing. Satan, he knows everything he's doing. Everything that he's doing.
Yeah, but the point is that it doesn't matter his position. Some people say there's something wrong. So the Court of Arbitration for Sport will look into it.
Oh, matter, you know what? Me, my problem this morning is that under 17 that took pass from Ghana to Cote d'Ivoire. Later.
The under 17 took a bus from
Ghana to Cote
d'Ivoire.
Yeah, this thing doesn't make sense. Young boys, they are going to play ball. Hey, so flight from here to Cote d'Ivoire to how much it will cost? Later. How much it will cost?
I don't know. I'll have to check for you.
Oh, Charlie, why? These are the future of Ghana football. You stress them for over 12 hours. And they say they've not even got to go to Dubai yet too. Oh, why are we doing this? Later. Why are we doing this?
Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens to the Black Stars. But they are going to play a tournament in Cote d'Ivoire. So,
but you are playing a tournament and you brought a young team like this. Charlie, now I think Raymond no come yesterday. If you go do underground check, Charlie, Raymond underground check, you probably need to I'll do it for you.
Which underground checks are these, Ray?
Oh, if Raymond no come, no, the next day, no, I know say to be come. I know say they go the other city, they search, they do some research. So this morning, Raymond not talk anything yet too. I do it for him.
Okay, you.
I do it for him. You know, I do it for him. He laugh. I do it for him.
Okay, no problem. Emmanuel.
Good morning. Ghana.
Interesting. 054-257-1061. Let's take a few more calls. Remember that the Champions League is back. So we'll preview the start of the new Champions League season. The new look Champions League, where the group stages are so long and quite exciting. Let me take this call. Hello.
Sporty FM.
Uncle.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Michael from Ablekuma.
Yes, Michael, please go ahead.
It's Nathan. I want to give you a scenario. So if you every day you do the way like everything you do, like the shoot you well, we are 7 years this, we are 7 years this. So you ask yourself, how credible are you?
Oh, because people keep serving, injunctions and things.
The problem may be, why do people go serve you injunction, then lawsuit, then go take the book? This essay under this administration, how many suits and Kasa may serve you? You will go fit on.
No, I won't be able to give you a number.
So right now, like example, Sporty FM. Then today you do some program, then people be passion here and there. Like how credible Ankasa be Sporty FM Ankasa? You just question me. You need to see like Sporty FM Ankasa, it will be credible.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to this credibility to know it is zero. It is zero. Understand? Then the other caller was saying something. Yes, you cast are wrong. They are not into the chia. Yes, they need to we will see what you do. No? That's why they prompt you. So then kind of arrogant question is every day they take no. It will cause them. That question then every day you will run this essay down. Because they need to see your credibility in Ankasana. It's like it's not top notch. Ankasa, because I think every day we have problems. Every day we have problems. But then we have one solution. You see, in the past, I heard that the government was not able to interfere into, like the government should interfere into football this time.
Mm-hmm.
But then, currently, how the football is going in, if you want the football to succeed,
Sporty FM.
the government has to enter. The government needs to enter, because if the government don't enter, we won't be able to get funds to sponsor your football. You need to check the nations who are doing well in football currently.
Mm-hmm.
And there's government hands working 2 and 2. Look at Morocco. Look at Egypt. If you look at the big nations, they have one way or the other. They have the government or they have government reps in like having a say in football.
Mm-hmm.
But in this country, they are doing like the GFA is a private something. But then there's the name Ghana Football Association. So then the mere fact there's the name Ghana, it doesn't make it a private something. You don't understand. So if we want our football, because in the past we understood that if government come inside there will be problems. But then how the football is running is going this time around. If the government don't put, or if the government don't interfere, there's going to be problems all over, because if there's government or if there's government interferes into this, or if the government has a say in this, like there wouldn't be these problems all over, going over, coming like lawsuits. They're done. So currently, how football is going, government needs to interfere, and we shouldn't fear about this FIFA this thing. Government needs to interfere so that our football will be safe. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Interesting opinion. Let's take one more call and then we can proceed. We'll talk a bit about the Champions League because it returns tonight all across Europe. There are new teams in there and all of that. 054-257-1061. You can also call the other number 030-279-4805. 030-279-4805. And you can send me a WhatsApp message as well. I'd love to hear from you. You can send me a WhatsApp message 054-257-1061. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. means that you can talk for 1 whole hour interrupted while paying for only the first minute of every 10 minutes you talk, which means for every 10 minutes you talk within the hour, you pay for only the first minute, and you get to talk for 60 minutes straight without interruption. So you see, now is the time to talk extra with all the people in your corner and in your circle. To subscribe to MTN Free After One Extra today, just dial star 550 hash, star 550 hash, and follow the prompts.
Same time we the solution. Problem song. Same time we the solution.
Yeah, Pamadin. Upness, shit. Bandulu.
All right, 8:39. Let's get to the World Athletics Championship in Japan. We'll see if we can touch base with our colleague Yao Fusulabi. He's our man on the ground for some updates there. But for those who have not been following, all kinds of interesting things have been happening in the World Athletics Championship. Ray, so on yet another occasion, Armand Duplantis has set a new pole vault world record. How many does he have? 14 now. He's done that, what is it, 14 times?
14 times. Yeah.
14 times, yes. He's broken the world record.
Well, Nathan, consistency is everything. Consistency is everything. And nobody can tell me he hasn't worked hard to get to this stage. Okay. So since February 8, 2020, when he set the record of 6.17 meters on 13 different occasions, he started 0.01 meters or 1 centimeter to the height he's been able to scale over. He's been consistent between 2020 and 2025. He's tried to do better every time he's had the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, 6.30 meters, it's difficult to see who surpasses that record.
Sporty FM, the voice of sports.
Even at this point, I'm not sure Duplantis has any dreams of even halting whatever run he started. Okay, so we can only wish him well. We can only wish for the best. But it's almost looking like he's running a one-man show in that competition.
In the pole vault.
So it's almost as if nobody can catch up with him or stop him from, doing what he does. And it's exciting, Nathan. It's exciting to watch him do what he does. And very, it's not very common to have an athlete stay this consistent and consistently try to outdo himself. So it's almost like Duplantis is always trying to break his own record. He's in a league of his own. And full credits to him. He's done absolutely well. And so I saw a poll being ran today, and the question was between Duplantis' record and Usain Bolt's record, 100-meter record, which one will be difficult to break? And it's left opinion divided. I mean,
some people think Usain Bolt's 9.58 will be tough to break.
Yeah.
Some people think Duplantis' pole vault world record, 6.30 meters, will be tough to break. I guess Duplantis, I don't know where he wants to take this. I don't know how far he's willing to push it. I guess he might push it, by a few more centimeters, and then we'll see what the rest of the field can offer. Because I remember when all of this started, Sergei Bubka started all of this 5.18, I believe his time, his distance or the height was back in the day.
Sporty FM.
Okay, back in the day. 5.85 meters. Now, for Sergei Bubka, it was the first of 17 times he would set a global mark. And then you had Renaud Lavillenie, who came in 2014, moved it to 6.16.
Yeah.
And then Duplantis took over and has changed the face of pole vault and changed the sport.
And Bubka did something similar to what Duplantis has been doing. So he also tried to break the record consistently. He kept doing it bit by bit. Every point you had a centimeter or two, you had a centimeter or two, you had a meter or two. He kept doing it same way over a period. So between 1984-85 thereabout to 1994, doing it for Soviet Union and Ukraine.
Okay.
He stayed up there for a very long time. So that was like a 10-year period. He kept it there. Then Raymond came in. His record lasted quite a bit, but he did it once.
Sporty FM.
It was at a competition in Ukraine. He did it in 2014, and then it was a record for a very long time until our good friend Duplantis came in and then knocked everything out. And later, you look at the numbers Duplantis has here, and it's a tall order, because even when Bubka left it at 6.14,
yes,
it took quite a while. It took almost 10 years.
Okay.
Before Renault took off that record.
Yeah.
And then between 2014 and 2020, that was another 6 years before Duplantis stepped in and broke his record. So now Duplantis has moved it all the way to 630, 6.30. Later. It's going to be a tough ask if you expect anybody to break their record anytime soon.
It's a really tough ask, so we'll have to wait and see what others will do. But moving on to other things in terms of the World Athletics Championship, if you look at the men's marathon, for example, Alphonse Felix Simbu of Tanzania, he won gold. Amanal Petros of Germany winning silver. Elias Awani of Italy winning bronze there. Another very interesting races. You had the men's 400-meter hurdles. There were the heats. You had the men's pole vault final. Yes, we've gone through that. Women's hammer throw. And the women's 100-meter hurdles. That was won by Ditaji Kambuji of Switzerland. Toby Amushan of Nigeria came second. And Grace Stark of the US came third. Today, what is happening? You have the men's 800-meter heats. Team Ghana is represented there. Let me see. Yes, Team Ghana. Alex Amankwa is there. He's in the final heat 7. He's in the final heat 7. There, so those are some of the things that are happening. You also have the women's 1,500-meter final there, also happening later in terms of the World Athletics Championship. It's part of the evening session. I believe it should have started by now in Japan. And then you have other things. Men's high jump final. The men's high jump final will also take place in Japan as well. And then you have the women's triple jump qualifications and a few other interesting things happening today. We'll see if we can get Yao Fusulabi in Japan. So as and when we get him, we'll put him on. But let's quickly come back to Ghana and deal with some other matters. Now, for those who were at the Accra Sports Stadium last week to watch the Ghana-Mali encounter, you may have seen videos of fans flooding into the ground at a point and filling up the cordoned off section. I remember Tuesday morning I spoke about it. I was very disturbed that this had happened. And I was even saying that, look, the NSA needed to keep a lid on things because it was the second time it was happening. It happened Ghana versus Chad. It's happened Ghana versus Mali. Yeah. And I was extremely worried that the cordoned off section had fans sitting there. And I was asking why. What if something bad happened? What would we do? Ray, you agreed with me, but you felt
Nathan,
that there was you hypothesized that there was an explanation, or you had a theory.
Yes, Nathan. So when you raised your concerns,
yes,
I was of the opinion that what could have possibly caused that mammoth crowd we saw, and what could have caused the spillover,
yes,
going into the area that was cordoned off, possibly could have been oversubscription of tickets. So in my commentary, I accused the NSA of selling.
Yes, that was your theory.
Yes,
your theory was that
I said the NSA had sold tickets more than the seats they had available. That could have been the possible explanation for why we saw a near full capacity stadium when we were told that the 40,000 capacity venue was going to be less 14,000. That was my theory.
Yes.
Fortunately for us, we have NSA with us this morning.
Yes.
And they have categorically denied that they sold more than 26,000 tickets. So since they've joined us this morning, I'm sure we'll
get into
find a way to get into all of this and then find out exactly what happened and what led to the spillover into the areas that they were not supposed to be in. So,
all right.
Nathan, so that was the allegation I made.
Yes.
And the NSA has, based on conversations we've had with them behind the scenes, they've clearly stated that that was
not the case. No problem. Listeners, we've been joined by Mr. Jemfi Kusiare. He's the Chief Operations Officer at the National Sports Authority, and he's joining us so we can have a conversation on this and get an understanding as to what exactly may have gone wrong, and then we'll figure out the way forward, right? We ask questions on what will be done going forward. Mr. Red, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, fine morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Not bad.
The last time we spoke was over the phone after you were auditing us and when you were auditing your facilities. I remember that conversation very well.
Yeah.
It's nice to have you in the flesh in the studio. So the elephant in the room, I mean, the NSA, what will be your response, or what's the NSA's reaction to what we saw last week, Monday? Supporters flooding into the cordoned off sections, and, you know, my colleague Raymond theorizing that maybe there was an oversubscription of tickets, and that's how come you had all these people coming in when they should not have been in the stadium in the first place.
Well, let me use this opportunity to say hi to Sporty FM listeners and viewers. Okay. I think, as you said earlier on, I tried to explain myself to you yesterday about the commentary my good friend here made, a few days ago.
Yes.
Regarding to the cordon off area. I think this issue started during the Chad game, and we all saw it. Okay. When we took over, I think this year in the March, that section, we realized that there was a problem there. So we called the engineers, about 3-4 engineers. They came to do the visibility study, and the report was like, we should cut it off for now to make sure that we get the place fixed before we can let people, sit at that section.
Okay. What was the challenge? Can you give us details of the specific challenge with those sections?
This is engineering. I don't want to go into that.
No problem. No problem.
Because
let's proceed.
The report is we should cut it.
Yes.
And for the NSA also, thinking about Ghanaians, and we're not thinking about getting maybe just money alone. We also decide to go by what the engineer said. So we cut it off. But during the second, I think in the second half of the Chad game,
the Ghana Chad game,
we realized that they broke into the main gate, the front gate. They broke it down, and people were just pushing in, coming in. And I don't want to blame someone here, but we had over 500-600 police, military, and then other security personnel, services or whatever. Okay, so what I would say now is, I think the fans overpowered the security. They couldn't do anything about it, so they just, rushed in and then took over all that side.
So this you are referring to the Ghana Chad game.
The Ghana Chad game. Okay. Before the game, like you were in the stadium, you could see that we branded the whole place.
Yes, I remember.
Ghana Tourism Authority.
Yes. I remember. I remember really well.
Yeah, we called Abeku Santana to help us doing all those things. Yes, and that was done. But you see, when it comes to the fans, sometimes you have to also be a bit tactical. You cannot maybe trying to gone are the days when people, they please use tear gas and all those things, and that's what I said. They overpowered them. The securities. Yeah. So after the match, after the Ghana Chad game, we approached, I think, about 1 or 2 people to see how best we can solve that situation before the Ghana Mali game. But unfortunately, I think things couldn't work out before the Ghana Mali game. So we decided again to go by the same method by branding the corded off area. But unfortunately, again, the same issue happened. But yesterday, I think I sent a video to you.
Yes.
To watch about how people, the fans were climbing even the wall, and the policeman was just standing there looking at them, unconcerned. So, what I can say now is either we start selling the tickets over there, because the first game nothing happened, the second game nothing happened. NSA has lost over 84,000 Ghana cedis.
How so?
Because that section is over 14,000.
Okay.
So let's say it's about 14,500. So when you sell a ticket, even 30 cedis, as popular stand, 14,500. When you calculate it for the first game and the second game, you can see that we've lost over 840,000, almost 840,000. So if the place, I will not sit here to say that it's okay for people to see there, but if the first one happened, the second one happened, why can't we sell, ticket to avoid people or the fans rushing and to take over the seats over there freely? Because what I can say is that when they see that the place is empty, then the others, why can't we just rush in to occupy those seats?
But Mr. Ray, my so you're saying that one of the options what you are considering will be, so are you considering opening that section up to fans going forward? Is it an option you are considering so that you prevent people rushing in and all of that?
I think that would be the best option.
But what about the engineer's report that says that there is a structural problem that led to the cordoning off in the first place? I totally agree with cordoning the place off if it will save fans. You understand? I think all of us agree that if it has to save fans, let us do it. But if the NSA is reconsidering opening that section, are you not concerned that something could happen?
Well, so what about the first and the second instances?
But we are not sure, we can't guarantee that we won't be third time unlucky. Neither can we guarantee that we will be third time lucky.
Well, you can be right there. But here's a case that my good friend here was saying that NSA, like we printed more than 26,000 tickets.
It's a theory. Let me ask you. So the fans who were, I saw the video, right? Yeah. And those are very short videos that give us a bit of an idea of what happened. Do you know for a fact if all those fans who came in had tickets?
No, none of them had tickets.
None of them had
tickets. Because, look, no one will buy a ticket and decide to climb a wall and entered into this. It's a risky.
Yes, it's risky.
So it's like what I said was they realized that the place was empty. They tried the first one, nothing happened. So why not try the second time again? And they succeeded in doing that.
But I think, Ray, I'll give you that. I think really, just listening to all of it, I think that then it's a bit of an indictment on the NSA, because the NSA runs the stadium. You said that you had employed or you had contacted the police and the military to provide security. So if that is their job, then they must provide security at all times. You understand me? They must provide security at all times. If the section of the stadium is closed, it is closed. Nobody should go there.
And you also saw the securities there.
I saw that.
The uniform police.
I saw the policeman in the video just looking. So which means that there is a conversation that the NSA must have with the Ghana police to say, this is what we've observed. Why is it that the policemen you gave us were not doing their work, or somebody was looking on concern?
You see, after every match, we have a security briefing.
Yes.
So this issue was something that we had about 3-4 security meetings because of the first game.
Yes.
So this time, even the police assured us, giving us about 1,000 men.
For our listeners, Mr. Ray, sorry to catch you. For our listeners, if you go to our Facebook stream, you can find fans scaling the Accra Sports Stadium wall into the ground, right? There are cars parked there. You see people helping their friends, boosting them up the wall and all of that. Granted, they are doing this. I'm not supporting this, but Mr. Ray, I still think that somehow there should have been a lid on things. Somehow, maybe after the first game, you should have realized that this was a possibility. So maybe let's up the security.
We added more. That's what I said. For this game, the Chad match, I think the police were about between 500 600.
Yes.
So they said they will add another 400 to make it 1,000.
1,000. And still this happened.
And still.
Wow. Ray.
Yeah.
Ray.
So, Mr. Ray, let's go back to match day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Knowing what happened in the Ghana-Chad game, obviously, NSA would have taken steps to be proactive this time around, make sure some of these things won't happen again. What were the steps? What were the processes fans who had tickets had to go through before getting to the gate at the Accra Sports? And just take us through match day modalities.
I think we first of all, the match day, we made a provision for the security, ticket checkers, scanners. All the necessary gadgets that we have to use to streamline everything was provided.
Okay.
But you see, what we talk about, we all know about, I don't want to use the word hooligans or whatever, but it's like these people have made their mind that whatever happens, once the place is empty, they also make sure that they occupy that place.
Okay.
So I don't want to go further, and I don't want to sit here also blame someone that this person should have done this and he didn't do it or whatever. But I think going forward, that's what I said earlier on, that it's either we'll sit down with the engineers again, find out if maybe the next option is to sell the tickets over there, or we still call the securities this time if they will occupy that side to prevent people now
from coming.
Yeah.
Now, so on match day, what some of us realized was that the entire perimeter around the stadium and where supporters would have access to gates was cordoned off way before you'd even get to the gate.
Yeah.
So, for instance, the Independence Square area was blocked off.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to GRA, around the ministries, that area too was cordoned off.
Yeah.
Around the stadium,
the National Security,
yes.
The Access Bank.
So Access Bank, the cemetery area, all of those sites were cut off.
Yeah.
Okay. Meaning that the first stage for any supporter was that you show your ticket at that gate before you get into the perimeter. That will lead you to the gate.
Yeah, that was the arrangement. Yeah.
So at what point did the hooligans manage to break that security fence? That first check to get into the area where they got very close to the gate and did what they did?
I think this question has to go to the securities, because I think personally I was busy, inside the stadium, going up and down, doing my normal routine duties and all that. So this happened around the outside perimeter, not inside.
Yeah.
So the security, the police and then the military, they are able. They were able to answer these questions.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just too obvious. And I mean, I can't explain this because, I mean, look at the kind of arrangement that we made. Just, I mean, blocking all these areas. Mm-hmm. So your question is valid, but it had to be answered by the security.
Now, there was another layer of security which was introduced, and for those who are at the stadium, a lot of them will testify that there was a point where people had to be given wristbands. Is that correct?
Yes.
Based on your post-game analysis or your post-game meetings,
yeah.
How successful was that process?
Well, I think the entire process, there have been a security breach. And, well, people were complaining about this. A lot of people complain about the wristband.
Yeah.
Because according to some of the fans, when they get into the security check, when they take their ticket, then they give them the wristband. So it's like,
the voice of
now,
sport.
when you are coming in again and you don't have a ticket, when you are holding a ticket, they will ask you for your
wristband.
So the complaints were, here and there. So this is, the ban, was just introduced. So now we are going to also have a meeting to see whether we should continue with that or we leave that one aside and then see the way forward. Yeah. But at the end of the day, what I think the most important thing is to sit down with the security again to make sure if the security are I wouldn't say that they didn't do their work well. I'm not here to blame anyone, but going forward, they have to advance
Sporty FM.
the kind of operation so that there wouldn't be such people climbing up and then rushing in and all those the hooligans and all those things.
Now, so the Accra Sports Stadium, we know traditionally built to take 40,000 people.
Yeah.
How much of that space is available for active football matches today?
So the 40,000 is where we're taking out the 14,000 plus. And there are some of the seats too that we can't also, we have a place for the media, the supporters unions, and all. That's why we make sure that we print the number of tickets that can be sold to the fans. That's the 26,000.
Okay.
Though we can print more than 26,000, but 26,000 is the number of tickets that we can sell to the public.
So on match day, did you have a total, subscription? Or all the tickets you planned had to go out? Did you sell all of that?
Well, I haven't spoken to the accounts. That side is not my side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 26,000 tickets.
It's what we printed.
Printed. Okay.
But
you don't know whether 26,000 was sold or less.
I know they couldn't sell all, but I can't tell you
how many. Exactly.
How many? Yeah.
So on match day and post match day, did you hear reports of people saying the tickets had run out, and so those who were doing tickets to Aketian had a field day? Did you get reports of that?
Yes.
Because even a colleague of mine here at Sporty had to buy a 50 CD ticket for 150 CDs.
You see, there were some instances that I even myself, I received a call from someone that they've been to airport shell and there's no ticket. I called there and they said, no, they have more tickets over there. So now, who is saying the truth? Are you getting my point? People call and say so many things. I'll call the accounts. department, and it's up. But we've sent tickets to this place, and I'll find out. And tickets also have been sent to that. I mean, the various places. So you see, well, I mean, we all know how. I mean, when it comes to a game like this, people normally do. Some tickets are their own business.
Yeah.
They buy the tickets and then resell it to any amount of money
This is
that
Sporty FM, the voice of sport.
they want to sell it. But what I can also say to the fans is, we always, I mean, especially you, the medians, we tell you come out, we tell them where the centers are where we sell the tickets. So why don't you go there rather than we don't? You see, if you wait to the last minute, come to the main gate to buy ticket, then even 10 cedis ticket can be sold to you 100 cedis because they see that, I mean, like you have no option. So let's buy the tickets early. We sell the tickets about 4 or 5 days before the match day. And the match day, they also know that nobody sells tickets at the stadium there. So why do you come there to buy a ticket in the first place?
Yeah.
So when you come there to buy a ticket, they can give it to you at any amount of money that they wish. But we have also warned people not to sell any ticket, because when you sell tickets there and the security gets you, they will arrest you.
Now, let's again deal with this other matter. A lot of people at the match venue on match day said they had tickets. They could not get a chance to go in because there was a massive crowd around the gate. And eventually they had to be standing there. So at a point where they forced the gate open, all of them had to rush to because of that opening. A lot of people were holding tickets. They couldn't get in.
Well, I haven't had that report yet.
Okay.
So I can't give any answer. But what I know is, if you can see, all these people are not holding tickets. Just check. No one is holding a ticket there.
So viewers, you can see on our screens, fans rushing into the match venue after the gate was pushed down. So you can see videos of that on our screens. You can see all of them running. Quite a lot of them, though.
Maybe it's something that they've planned to do. Now
let's.
They have realized that maybe the security is weak. So once we succeeded the first time, let's try the second time again. But this time, I think, going forward, the Comoros game, I don't think if they tried this, they wouldn't get a chance again because the police and all the securities are now alert. They've also seen the videos and everything.
So two things. There's a ticketing office at the Accra Sports Stadium, which is manned by the NSA. Why have you stopped using that? And what happened to e-ticketing? It used to be an option in the past. Why are we not using e-ticketing these days?
We're still discussing about this, and it's an internal issue. I don't want to. We've not, concluded on that issue yet, so I don't want to step there now. But going forward, we'll see whether that can also help or not, or we'll still introduce the e-ticketing. We are still, trying to see what we can do about that.
Okay.
Once, maybe when you introduce this and you fail, then you see maybe the next option. So if the next option will be e-ticketing, then why not? But we have to also look at the advantages and the disadvantages. Network, you see, e-ticketing is about the internet, the network. Sometimes the network can go off, and then people will be stuck at the gate, and you are that one you can see. What can happen?
Yeah.
So we have to look into all those things, the advantages, the disadvantages, and all that. So we will still consider that.
What about the physical office that NSA has at the stadium, the ticket office?
The voice of sports.
Yeah, but it's still there.
But so was it used during the games?
Yeah, we used it. Yeah. So we're selling tickets there.
Okay.
But not the match day.
That's what I was
but
asking.
Not the match day.
So before the match.
Before the match day.
Okay, so but
you
on
see,
match,
that's why
match
you
day
see, I'm surprised about people saying that we can't get a ticket to buy. Why don't you come to the stadium there maybe 3-4 days before the match? But you see, when we sell the tickets at the stadium there, we make our own money without giving someone any commission. Because when they sell the tickets to the various, outlets, they also take their commissions.
Sporty
So if we can sell the tickets at the stadium there, those commissions will come back to us again. We started selling tickets, but the match was on. I think was it on
It was
Thursday?
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, it was a Monday.
Okay, so we started selling tickets. I think from the Saturday, from Friday night, Saturday, and then Sunday. So why do you wait till Monday?
So there's a message here, and this fan has a concern. He says, and let me read it. I'm reading as he sent it. I went to Airport Shell. There was no ticket. I went to the filling station near Access Bank, and the filling station boys sold a 50 cedi ticket to us at 70
Sporty
cedis.
FM.
There was no ticket at the Shell shop as advertised.
You know, it said the ticket. The Shell filling station.
Around Access Bank.
They sold the ticket, the 50 cedis ticket to him
At 70 cedis.
from the Shell filling station there.
Yes. No, so the Shell shop didn't have tickets.
Yes.
But the filling station boys said they had tickets and they sold to them at 70 cedis. A 50 cedi ticket for 70 cedis. He went to Airport Shell, there was no ticket.
The person made attendance.
Yes.
Then
So
the person should have reported to the supervisor or the one in charge over there. Because the ticket was not given to the attendant. It was given to the, let's say, the manager. So how did the attendant get the ticket to be selling at the different...
So these are concerns we are bringing to you, so that you understand what the Ghanaian football fan would have to go through just to get into the
Sporty
market.
FM.
Okay.
So what I also tell the fans is, let's say the Comoros game, a ticket will be selling, 4 or 5 days before the match day. They should come to the stadium, our ticket selling point, and buy the ticket. Or when you go to the station or outlets, when you go there and someone trying to maybe change the price, you call the attention of the manager.
But Mr. Red, you know what happens? I think that, usually when the announcements are done, and I saw this happen when I went for the Ghana Mali game, right? You notice that a few days to match day, tickets have run out. It's not like individuals have gone to buy like I bought one, you bought one, Fly bought one. No. People have gone to buy them in large quantities. And on match days, they are reselling the tickets for 2, 3, 4 times the price. I know.
So it's difficult, but
it's difficult for them. I'm just trying to let him know.
What would cure that mischief would possibly be e-tickets.
This is Sporty
Possibly.
FM, the voice
So that
of sport.
there's no physical interface between the ticket seller and the ticket buyer. Everything is done just like we buy tickets for flights. You get it. Everything you can buy digitally, but if you have to buy, you have to go to the airline's designated selling point. Maybe the NSA would have to say, okay, well, this is the Accra Sports Stadium. If you want to buy tickets, come to the Accra Sports Stadium and buy. Or you buy online. Because it's looking like it's not working with the satellite sales. It's not.
I think satellite sales, you see, that can help. Maybe they can throw in a caveat. We are not selling more than 1 ticket to one person.
You see,
something like that.
Someone buying more ticket and reselling it, a different price.
Sporty FM.
So I'm not encouraging that. Yeah, but you see, those days when like in UK, for instance, like
people do that. Sometimes.
I quite remember those days. I even had a friend who normally, buy the tickets in bulk. So if it's maybe £10, they'll be selling at £15 or £20.
Yeah.
You see, so and that's their business.
Fine.
So maybe someone, you see, when it comes to the Accra Sports Stadium, our ticket point, and someone sell 50 cedis tickets to you, even 51 cedis, that one, we can hold the person responsible. But if maybe someone goes out there to buy the ticket, because no one has come to Accra Sports Stadium, ticketing office, to purchase the tickets in bulk, maybe about, let's say, 100, a whole booklet, or maybe 100 or 200. No. But when we give it to the outlets and someone goes there, because they also want to make their money, because they get their money based on how much tickets or how many tickets they sell. So, for instance, it's like you are an agent, and then we're giving about, let's say, 40,000 Ghana cedis worth of tickets to you, and I come and buy 20,000. You will give it out to me because, like, you want to make your sales.
Yeah.
And I don't think you ask me what am I going to do with those. So people are also, it's a business to other people, and it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult to stop those people.
Sporty.
I'm not saying that, I'm not encouraging it.
Yeah,
so the best thing that we have to do is go to the required area where we know, the media, I think you also be helping, Shell filling station, airport, all those places. Go there and buy your ticket. Don't go when you go to the attendant, and the attendant give a ticket to you at a different price. Ask of the attendant manager, where is your manager? Because I can see 50 cedis. Why are you selling it to me at 70 or 100? Why do you also have to buy a 50 cedis ticket for 100 cedis?
That's a demand and supply matter.
But that's what, as we speak, we still even have. We still even have some of the tickets left. We couldn't sell all the tickets. So,
your tickets, can they be duplicated? Have you had a situation where you've chanced on fake tickets being sold at the match venue, or people coming with fake tickets? Have you dealt with that situation?
Voice of Sport.
We've arrested about 2-3 people because we have so many security features, which I cannot sit here and let, the fans know how we normally check all, the security features for the ticket.
No, but I should know so that I don't fall victim to fake ticket sellers.
So just go and buy your genuine ticket. Go and buy your genuine ticket. Go to the Accra Sports Stadium or the various ticket selling centers. That will be announced by the media, stations, airport, official, and then I think the other shell that's also okay. Official, stadium shell, and then airport shell.
Those are the 3 places you normally sell.
Yeah.
And then the stadium.
The stadium, yeah.
But so back to one very important question. The crowd we saw at the Accra Sports Stadium.
Yes, I was about to go there. We have one final game.
Yes.
We have a final game. Ghana with Comoros, I think.
Yeah, but Nathan, before I get there, let me ask this one. The spillover we saw was as a result of hooligans breaking into the stadium and possibly people taking advantage of that because they didn't have tickets. That's correct. That's the position of the LSA.
Yeah.
No, I want for the avoidance of doubt.
Sporty FM.
You continue.
No, so I'm asking. So the crowd we saw, the near full capacity stadium we saw.
You mean that?
The people who took the sat in the area that was cordoned off.
Yeah, the cordoned off area. Yeah.
They are not people who had tickets.
No, they don't have tickets.
Per your investigations.
Yeah, they don't have tickets.
They were hooligans who broke into the stadium.
Exactly.
That's the position of the
yes.
Later.
So the people jumped. They
jumped the wall.
They jumped the wall. Breached security. All right. We have one final game. Ghana Comoros, and for our listeners, once again, there are videos on our stream that you can see for yourself. People scaling the walls and all. So, Mr. Arya, so what's the plan going forward? We have one final game, Ghana versus Comoros.
Who's just standing there?
I mean, I can see there's one guy who just scaled the wall.
No,
there's a policeman in the corner of the video just looking on. But that cannot be serious. That cannot be right.
It's serious.
That cannot be right. So what is the way forward? How do we ensure? I'm speaking from a place of concern that a place that has been deemed not suitable for people to be per the engineer's report from what you've told us. If that is the case, people should not be there. Exactly. Because we could be tempting all kinds of things. We could be tempting fate for all we know. So what is the plan going forward so that people do not go there? So we prevent any eventuality and we come back to say, oh, we should have done this, whilst we could have prevented in the first place. So what is the NSA going to do ahead of Ghana versus Comoros?
I think once again we have to. This is a security issue now, so we are also, getting our reports ready, then meet the IGP and see the way forward. If maybe
this is Sporty FM, the voice
and
of
then
force.
also talk to the military side too. If we increase more of the security forces, especially the police and then the military.
Okay, so enhancement of security. You believe that's a conversation? Have you started talking to the police already?
Yes, you have. We had a short meeting yesterday, and we'll still have we'll take about less than 4 or 5. A security briefing before the Comoros game.
Between now and the Comoros game, the discussions you are having about e-ticketing, is this something that could be concluded before the Comoros game?
Actually, we are considering all those things, but I can't give maybe any timeline. I can't decide anything here now, but we're still considering all those things.
So, per how you operate, is there any punishment for fans who breach security and all of that at match venues, per the NSA and your dealings? If fans engage in such things, is there any punishment for them? Or you hand them over to the security?
We hand them over to the police.
Okay.
Yeah, we hand them over to the police.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Ray,
So yes. in recent times, have you had to hand fans to police and have them dealt with properly, just to serve as a deterrent for many others who want to lose it?
I think the Chad game, there was an incident that I learned where something happened and we handed the person over to the police. And when you hand the person over to the police, it turns that we cannot tell the police what to do because they know the law.
Okay.
Yeah. Then when we get you, we'll give you to the police.
Well, hopefully before match days, maybe the NSA should do a bit more publicity with regards to fans' behavior, what is expected of them, and all of those things before matches. Okay, whether you have a ticket or you don't have a ticket, I think that there should be a briefing that would outline and spell out exactly what needs to be done on match day. Taking fans through maybe the security arrangement you have around the stadium on match day, so that anybody who is listening at home, if that person has intentions of coming to the match venue without a ticket and go and scale over the wall to get in or go and break the gate and get in, the person knows that, well, we have been warned. There's a clear message out there. Maybe that would help. Because I remember, I don't know, it was a national event at the Accra Sports Stadium. No, at the Independence Square. When the Deputy Chief of Standobe clearly spelled out every arrangement around the perimeter. Who should go here, who should not go here, what passes have been given out. So clearly, anybody who wanted to go there knew what was...
exactly.
You get it?
Yeah, I get
Can the NSA moving on...
I think we'll do
we'll
do same.
Yeah,
we'll do same.
I think Nathan, that should help.
Yeah, some good fun education.
So that if you don't have a ticket,
don't go there. Yeah. So when we come there without a ticket, and you try maybe jumping, climbing, or whatever, and you get caught, then the law will deal with you. Well, so if you don't have ticket, don't even make any attempt to come there. And we don't sell tickets at the stadium there during the match day.
Okay, on match day you don't sell tickets.
We don't sell tickets.
Thank God.
On match day, nobody should come to the stadium thinking that I am going there to buy a ticket.
Sporty FM, the voice of sports.
We hope that all of this will work out. Thank you so much, Mr. Jemfi Kusiare. He's the COO of the NSA, Chief Operations Officer of the NSA. He's a very important man in the architecture of the NSA, and he's giving us a bit of his morning to clarify a few things. Mr. Are, thank you once again. For us as a station, we'll follow up. We'll ask questions. We'll keep an eye on what's happening. And our doors are open if you want to do some public sensitization ahead of national team games, especially Black Stars games. Those are the games that attract the most traffic. And those are the ones that are at risk of people jumping walls and things. So our doors are open. If there's any information you want to share with the public, kindly do so. You can walk in or you can send us messages and we'll put those pieces of information across to the fans so they know what they must do and what they must not do. Ray.
Yeah. So having clarified the position of the fans in the stadium, my allegations of oversubscription, overprinting, I apologize and retract it.
Okay.
Since Mr. Arrea has told us that
was not the case.
It was the work of the hooligans that filled the stadium. I retract. He's the man who manages the stadium. So his account is what we'll go by. Okay. So he says that they did not print more than 26,000 tickets. And the fans who occupied those seats clearly were in the vicinity of the prohibited area without license. So, Nathan, I would retract my accusations and allegations and apologize to the NSA.
All right, thank you, Ray.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother. And your apologies, is accepted. And I also like the way it's like you always make a follow-up because about what is happening at the stadium there. And I'm not stopping you from doing that. Sometimes, if you hear something, you can prompt us so that whether the allegation is true or not, we can also come and then clear ourselves so that we move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, Mr. Jemfi Kusiare, CEO of the NSA. So as you heard, be on the lookout for some more public information. Ghana will play Comoros. It's the final Black Stars game we'll be seeing, I think, this year in terms of qualifiers. So be on the lookout. There will be notices on where to buy a ticket, how to buy a ticket. And the NSA is saying that if somebody sells you a ticket for at a higher price than advertised, let them know or report. If it's an outlet, reports to that authority there. And then they'll also figure a way out. And then the final bit, match tickets will not be sold on match day. So the people who have been texting me match day saying, oh, I'm going to the stadium, can I get a ticket to buy? You won't get a ticket to buy on match day. Buy your tickets in advance. The only thing I will say to the NSA is that, Mr. Ara, in all things, strongly consider e-ticketing and find a way of making it work. It will save you a lot of problems, right? Of course, the attendant architecture to is key, like how to verify, how to double check if this is accurate or valid or is not fake and all. But I think the NSA should strongly consider e-ticketing and all the, let me borrow the legal word, the concomitant things it will come so that your work is made easy. So we can all keep a lid on things. But thank you nonetheless. We really appreciate the time you're giving us.
We'll put that into consideration.
And Mr. Ray, please consider pulling down the Accra Sports Stadium.
Hey, Ray, this is a serious thing.
So that we can have... Oh, Mr. Ray has been to match venue so that we can have...
Talk about like reconstruction of the stadium. That's a bigger conversation.
This is Sporty FM, the voice of sports.
A contract was given to someone to... to put up, not to pull it down and build a new station, but let me say to refurbish.
Refurbish, okay. Yeah.
But
no work was done.
No, I mean, that money, the contractor or whoever is nowhere to be found. But though nowhere to be found, but the person is still in Ghana here, like gallivanting around the street, doing everything that he likes, and no one is asking him any question. Even personally, I called the person.
But the NSA as an entity must do something about that.
Of course. I mean, once money
you have to do something.
Money has been not just Accra Sports Stadium, Babayara, Esipon, and then Tamale, Cape Coast, and even the hockey pitch. If you have time, one day, come with me to the hockey pitch and then look at how the structure.
Okay,
and the money was given to someone. And I learned the person is a Calvin Oforiata.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nathan, it came up a couple of times.
Yeah, Calvin Oforiata.
It came up a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It came up,
So Calvin should come and explain what he used that money for.
Okay. So this, I mean, this is public information.
Yes, public.
That the said gentleman was giving a contract to work on these facilities, and that hasn't happened.
Okay, so we didn't have experienced this coded of because money was given out to do all those things, and millions of dollars.
Okay. I mean, that's a conversation for another day. But Mr. Ray, thank you so much. Ray, it looks like we'll have to follow up on this, dig into it, and find out what's happening, and urge whatever entity must follow up to get this done. Because if monies have been expended, monies have been paid for no work done, we clearly cannot have that. But that's a conversation for another day. But Mr. Ray, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you too.
All right.
So Nathan, let me.
All right, a bit of that. Okay, 9:34. Just
let me just
then we can proceed to talk about Champions League.
The Foreign Affairs Minister, now Foreign Affairs Minister, Okudzeto Ablakwa,
yes,
revealed before his party came into power, somewhere in September 2024, that 32 million Ghana cedis was made available to Kelvin Oforiata, who has companies by name Kube and Sisdan. Kube, so Kube or Kube and Sisdan. These are the two companies.
Kube and Sisdan.
Yes. So these two companies received 32 million Ghana cedis to rehabilitate Accra Sports Stadium and the Esipon Stadium. So on 18th March 2019, they received 6 million Ghana cedis. They are about to rehabilitate Accra Sports Stadium. They again received 10 million plus Ghana cedis to rehabilitate the Accra Sports Stadium again in June 2020. In 2021, again, an amount of 4.7 million Ghana cedis. Then it continues. So Accra Sports Stadium kept coming up. So all the vouchers totaled 32.2 million Ghana cedis. And I remember very well, those were allegations that were made by Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's public knowledge that
it's public knowledge.
Monies were released for the rehabilitation of the Accra Sports Stadium, but nothing has happened. And other sports facilities in the country, Esipon inclusive. So it's public knowledge. So and he attached payment vouchers as well to those allegations.
Okay, all right. We'll keep an eye out. We'll keep an eye out on that. The state entities that are mandated to follow up, please do the follow up. We will keep on asking questions. Okay, 9:36. Let us wrap it up with the UEFA Champions League. Yay! It's back. Tuesday night, Wednesday night. I think there's some Thursday night action as well this week. So today, Athletic Bilbao take on Arsenal. PSV will face Saint-Gilloise, Union Saint-Gilloise from Belgium. Benfica take on Karabakh. Juventus face Dortmund. Real Madrid, the owners of the Champions League, take on Marseille. And Tottenham Hotspur face Villarreal. It's a showdown between Mo Kudus and Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey returns to England, returns to North London not too long after he left Arsenal Football Club. Who is excited about the return of the Champions League? I know I am. Michael Asaibedu, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Are you equally excited at the return of the Champions League? Oh, I can't seem to hear. Michael, you're muted.
Okay, so good morning.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I'm excited because a lot of things will happen. The big guns will gather in Europe and play against each other. Chelsea is part of them. It makes me more excited. And then what makes me most excited is that we'll not be seeing horrible football from Manchester United.
You just had to go there. You just had to go there. That we'll not be seeing Manchester United. It's the consequence of playing bad football and not winning the Europa League. But this week's Champions League games are spread across Tuesday, which is the 16th, Wednesday the 17th, and Thursday the 18th of September. I don't know which of the games excite you. Michael, let me take your initial thoughts. Kelvin, I'll take his thoughts in a bit. Of all the games, which one or which ones are you looking ahead to, or which ones are you excited to see, especially tonight's set of games?
Well, I think for tonight, the first one will be Athletic Club versus Arsenal. You see, Arsenal have that impressive record against Spanish opposition. For Bilbao, I think how their Europa League season unraveled, it started well, but did not really end well when they had to suffer elimination at the hands of Manchester United. They are making their first Champions League appearance since the 2014-2015 campaign, and we all know what they did to Manchester United during that spell. Bilbao has actually been a club that has been a thorn in the flesh of some of the English clubs. So I want to see how they measure up and how they start their campaign, particularly against Arsenal, who themselves eliminated a Spanish opponent last season in Real Madrid. So it is going to be interesting. And again, there are some individuals in that Arsenal team that have knowledge of playing against a Basque team. Martin Odegaard, I don't know if he's fully fit to feature in this game, but even without him, the likes of Mikel Merino and then Zubimendi, they have been on the books of Real Sociedad, who are the bitterest rivals of Athletic Bilbao per their location. So clearly, they'll want to guide their teammates on what to do, how to go about it, because what I expected, Ernesto Valverde's side will have their fans, making sure the atmosphere is charged, although they have some handicaps in terms of players who are not available. They'll still make sure that it is that perfect European club football atmosphere. And Arsenal will need to mature into such an atmosphere to play their game. But not forgetting, Mikel Arteta himself is Basque, and he will also know how to set up and play this game. Arsenal are favourite, but I think it's one game that will be very exciting. And then to Real Madrid against Olympique Marseille is also a game that I'll have my attention on. And luckily, the game involving Arsenal and Bilbao will be 4:45. So it means after that game, you have Real Madrid-Marseille to enjoy. And Madrid has never lost to Marseille in all the games that they've played between each other. It is actually a game that Madrid have dominated, but the headlines around this is exciting. Marseille are entering this game with a tactical freak in Dizabi. He makes sure that his team are set up in weird formations and they play football in some of the strangest possible ways. And so I want to see how they measure up to someone like Xabi Alonso. You see, Alonso has done a good job, but not too much or too many tactics. You see Madrid doing the basics very well. When they are without the ball, they make sure that the offensive players are active in terms of pressing, and then they do the basics in terms of their passing. But I think one key thing is done is to lay down the marker and point the team towards who will be their star player, and that is in Kylian Mbappe. At the start of the season, he made sure everybody was well aware of that. And so there seems to be the players conceded that we don't need to do a power struggle. Let's all understand that the face of this team will be Kylian Mbappe, and then Vini Jr. and the others will support. And that has brought some kind of cohesiveness among the team. So you don't see much more individualism. The players are all working towards to ensure that whatever agreement they've had, whether deliberately or otherwise, will be adhered to on the field of play. And it's brought the best out of them. Mbappe seems to be having a fantastic season. I take this season to be a continuation of where he left off last season. Last season, he generated 40 goals plus in his debut campaign for Real Madrid. I expect him to go higher from that figure. And from the start of the season, you've seen he's much more involved in the goal scoring at 10. Mbappe once, per the record, Mbappe has scored in the last 3 seasons on match day 1. And so if you juxtapose this with Olympique Marseille, a team that he knows very well during a stint in France, the record between Madrid and then also Olympique Marseille, it points towards the fact that it is going to be a game that he will enjoy, and it will be a game that Real Madrid will enjoy. And I love the balance Alonso has brought to the forward areas. Vini Jr., Mbappe, whoever gets to start, they will make sure that they will do much more ball work. Now, when they are without the ball, that is when the right winger in Franco Mastantuano will want to join in the middle and try to see if they can shape up and apply pressure on the opponent to try and retrieve possession. It is going to be an exciting game, trust me. It is a game that you will love the history part and also what actually translates on the field of play. They are judging by the delivery from the two sides. And it is going to be interesting. Marseille will give their best, but I think it is a game that favors Real Madrid on all fronts. The historical perspective and also the reality perspective. Real Madrid have a better squad as compared to Olympique Marseille. But that notwithstanding, I think Marseille also have some quality individuals, the likes of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who has scored in his last 4 Champions League appearances against Real Madrid. He did that for Dortmund in the 2016-2017 campaign, and also in the 2017-2018 campaign. He met Real Madrid in 4 group stage matches, and he scored in all 4 games. So he knows Real Madrid and how to score them also, although there are different players available. And then aside Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, we can also look out for Mason Greenwood. He's an exciting young attacker. He's played in Spain. He will have knowledge of how the atmosphere will be like in terms of playing at the Santiago Bernabeu. Marseille will do their best. They have individuals to try and affect the game positively to help their cause. But I think the overall quality of Real Madrid, and also by virtue of playing at home, will favor them to get the win against them. There are some other interesting games to look out for. Tottenham versus Villarreal. And you mentioned it. Mo Kudus versus Thomas Partey. And a return for Partey to England. He's played in the Premier League for quite some time now. He understands that. And I want to I am imagining the welcome or the reception that Partey will enjoy. One, due to his own off-the-pitch issues, the court issues, which I will not want to delve deeper. Then again, he's an enemy of Spurs.
Yep, ex-Arsenal player.
Arsenal. Exactly. So I want to see how the welcome will be, the reception the Spurs fans will give to him, and as to whether he's going to play a role. And then again, there is Nicolas Pepe. Pepe is also a former Arsenal player. So how would the Spurs fans welcome them, or how would the reaction be like, the reception? I want to look forward to that. But Spurs are playing some delightful football. It looks like Thomas Frank has done his job well. He's not set them up in a very complicated manner. Just do the basic things. But one key thing about Spurs, which wasn't evident last season, which we are seeing now, they utilize their set pieces. It is very, very important. They are scoring from set piece situations, and it's going to their advantage. Their central defenders, Sergio Romero, and then also Mickey van der Ven, they have that tall figure. They present an aerial threat whenever Spurs are attacking from set pieces. And I think they will be in the thick of affairs this evening. It will be one of the outlets that Spurs will use to create chances and possibly score a goal. But I expect Spurs to dominate. I expect them to get goals, multiple goals. And Villarreal are mostly a tough opponent, but they are not under the tutelage of Unai Emery, where they were very defensively solid. Marcelino opens up. He plays very open football, and that is how come they lost over the weekend to Atletico Madrid. I am tipping Spurs to beat Villarreal, but I'm also tipping Villarreal to maybe get in on the scoring now. So both teams to score, but Spurs to win this particular encounter. So these are the 3 games I'll actually be looking out for. The game between Tottenham, Villarreal, Real Madrid, Olympique Marseille, and then Athletic Club against Arsenal.
Well, 3 very interesting games. They are the standout games. Of course, there's Juventus and Dortmund, 2 teams with a very interesting history in the UEFA Champions League. Kelvin Owusu is back. Kelvin, Arsenal begin their Champions League campaign in Spain against Bilbao. Mikel Arteta returns to Spain. But the campaign starts off with a very determined Bilbao side, but we saw how they exited the Europa League last season. I guess it will be one of those games where Arsenal will have to ride the wave, because Bilbao will start strong. They will try and up the atmosphere, make it uncomfortable. But I think Arsenal do have what it takes to navigate such a game.
Well, I think Arsenal has everything. Remember they faced off in the summer
when Arsenal invited them to compete in the Emirates Cup with a 3-0 victory over them. And I think looking at how Athletic Club started, I don't know whether the weekend they were playing with the mentality of facing Arsenal during midweek, the reason why they drop points, in the game, that particular game. But I think that Arsenal have, a very good chance of winning this game, in terms of team cohesion, in terms of pedigree, in terms of class, in terms of ambition. Arsenal stands tall. If you listen to Mikel Arteta, he says, yes, they made mistakes last season in the UEFA Champions League semi-final. They got a little bit swollen-headed, and it was more like a bit of complacence going to that PSG game in both legs. The way they prepared for the Real Madrid game wasn't the same energy they put into the semi-final game against PSG. The reason why they fell off at a certain point, I think that knowing how Arsenal has played in the last couple of months, the only game that seemed to be a bit off was that Liverpool game where they were actually rooted to the base until Liverpool came out to score. The two teams have no proper history, among them. It's just one win for Arsenal and then nothing from them. The last meeting, that was the Emirates Cup. So I think it should be a good one for Arsenal. Arsenal have been scoring multiple times, at least this season. The 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest, 5-0 win over Leeds, and then also that 3-0 win over Athletic Club, and then they lost to Liverpool in that 1-0 game. But you look at Athletic Club, yes, Alaves defeated them recently. Osasuna also gave them another beating, and then they beat Real Betis 2-1, and then against Sevilla it ended 3-2, which clearly gives you an indication that they have the propensity to concede goals. Yes. And looking at Arsenal's attack, the likes of Noni Madueke, and then the Spanish teams wouldn't be as rigid and robust as the English side. Yes. So that would give lots of freedom, especially for players like Noni Madueke. I expect him that this game should be a game he can actually get a goal to start his goal scoring life. And then for Eberechi, he created a very beautiful chance that was tucked home by Gyökeres. But this should be a game that I don't think Arsenal should let this slip. The early kickoff game in the Champions League, 4:45. So they should be able to work the magic out. And for Mikel Arteta, yes, he's a Spanish, but I don't even see him as a Spanish. Every time I see him more as a French or an English because of how the number of years he spent in those countries. Yes, and even his how do we say, is this Scottish background? Even Rangers. Yes. Even
when I first heard of Mikel Arteta, he was playing at Rangers.
Exactly.
I think on loan from Barcelona, and then
and looking at the gap in spending between the two sides, £250 million. Arteta cannot go into this game and then drop points. This is a Champions League, yes, so you need to the league phase, just amass as many points as you can. I think Arsenal should stand tall this evening.
Well, Arsenal tipped to win, and I think they will get themselves a win. PSV taking on Saint-Gilloise, Benfica and Karabakh. Benfica last season played in these back and forth dramatic games and all with Barcelona. Juventus and Dortmund, two teams who, as I said,
Benfica just like drama. That team, they just like drama. They won't win, but they will just create drama and make the game exciting.
They are hell bent on making things exciting. Juventus and Dortmund, they also play. Real Madrid and Marseille. I was reading reports that Jude Bellingham was in the Real Madrid team, I think, to play Marseille. It looks like he's recovered very quickly. Recovered quicker than I imagined. Okay, so that game is at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid versus Olympique de Marseille, and Tottenham Hotspur versus Villarreal. The two teams, as we've established, they've got Ghanaians in the Mo Kudus for Spurs, Thomas Partey for Villarreal. It will be a very interesting encounter. Spurs are back in the Champions League after winning the Europa League.
Yeah, and Thomas Frank was willing to, play in Europe. Unfortunately, Brentford, so he would want to, at least put in a lot more. He would want to test him if he's capable of, playing as a top manager in both, domestic competitions and then on the continental level too. So wait to see how things will pan out for him. But I think that he has a very good team, very solid team, but let's not forget that Villarreal also have some quality players, very much experienced.
They do.
You have Thomas Partey coming in, and then he's playing against players like Rodrigo Bentancur and others. He's seen them before. He's played with them before, and he knows how to just weave his way through. So I think that is also going to be another interesting game. And that Juventus-Dortmund game, yes, both teams are missing a number of players. Emre Can, Schlotterbeck, Niklas Sola, Fabio Silva, all these players are out and they wouldn't be playing for Dortmund. On the other side of Juventus, Arkadiusz Milik, Francisco Conceição, and then Meretti are all, absent. And it would mean that Jonathan David could possibly get an opportunity to come into the starting 11, though, he hasn't really given enough colour. But last weekend he gave an assist, off the bench, and it clearly puts him in a very good stead. It may be a perfect start for Juventus. They need it.
They do.
They need it. They've been quiet when it comes to Europe for quite a long time, and if you have an opportunity to get back into glory, I think that this should be a game that they should be able to win. Maybe not a huge scoreline. If it's going to be huge, then it means that Dortmund are going to get goals, because Serhou Guirassy from last season, getting his name written as part of the top players in the Champions League, you would want to continue on that same tangent. And he has players who can give him, that support. Joe Bellingham, Brandt, Maximiliano Bayer, and then Mikel Sabitzer, So the Dortmund team, if you look at that team, they have a very, very good team too.
They do.
In defense, you are thinking about the absence of, but they still have, Anton, and then, Anselmino who would be in there. But for Juventus, yes, very good midfield. Thuram, Locatelli, it was a wonderful weekend to see how the Thuram brothers were just having those.
Kefren and Marcus. So played on against each other.
Yes, so
Juventus ended up winning that game against Inter by 4-3.
So I'll be looking also more at their attack, where Cup Miners, Yildiz, Kenan Yildiz, and then Jonathan David would give us some loss to think about. Many were thinking that Jonathan David should have been a player who should have moved into the Premier League, but Juventus managed to get Juventus managed to get him onto their books. This would be another test, an opportunity for him to tell the world that yes, he's a player who can fit in when he gets to the highest level. So this evening the Champions League is back. I know Michael Asaribodu and his people. Yes, the army of money makers will sit behind, and then by 1 p.m. we'll get to know the odds that will bring us the money this evening.
Well, yeah. So tonight is the opening night of the returning Champions League campaign. Tomorrow night there are games, and then on Thursday, so there are games 16th, 17th, 18th. There's a mix of very interesting games as well. As Kelvin said, for those who are interested in making some money off the games, Immortal and his gang will be here 12:30 Sporty plug to give you all the needed codes and odds so you can win big tonight. But talking about the Champions League this evening, I'm particularly excited for two players. Okay, let's say one more than the other, but I'll say two. Noni Madueke and Eberechi Eze. Yeah. I'm very, very, very excited for them. Immortal says they have 1 million odds today on Sporty plug.
1 million odds. This guy.
I'm very delighted, especially for
the voice of sports.
Ebe Eze. He's taking his time to get here, right? He's taking his time to get a QPR to, I can't remember his first team, but QPR, I remember in the championship, to Palace. It took him time.
Yeah.
And he's finally here. He gets to taste the Champions League for the very first time. If nothing at all happens, Eberechi Eze will play 8 Champions League games this season, assuming Arsenal don't even qualify from the group stage, but they will qualify. So he gets to play a lot more. I'm happy when players play these kinds of games, because all of a sudden you are thrown into a situation where you are playing against European opposition. You experience different types of players, different types of teams. The styles are different, but you know that all eyes are on you, and if you put out a performance, you get to be the topic of conversation. Yeah. So I'm very delighted, especially when I see players who have done well and then they get the opportunity to play in the Champions League, the best club competition in the world, the most watched club competition. So for Eberechi Eze, I hope that he gets his minutes, and I hope that he gets to show his class and quality in the highest stage as Arsenal take on Bilbao. Bilbao too are here after. It's taking them a while
to get here. Michael, I think you are making a point about Bilbao. I think it's their first campaign in the Champions League, I believe.
That's their third campaign.
Third campaign, yes.
And their first since and their first since 2014, 2015.
Yes. Their first since 2014, 2015. It's almost like they've not been here. They've not been here in ages. But for us on a Ghanaian side, we get to see Iñaki Williams. He was at the press conference speaking really confidently. And we get to see Iñaki Williams and see what he can offer. Just maybe it might give the Black Star selectors some more insight into how best to deploy the young man. I hope.
The insight that they have, they deploy him in the right areas. But
the problem
is left with the intelligence of a few players, a number of players to do the needful. As simple as that. And he should also help himself. At least when the few opportunities drop, he should score. You get it. You may not be lucky so many times, but when it drops,
strikers playing as a striker is tough. You won't get a lot of chances.
Thank you.
So when you get the few that you can make do. Anyway, the final run through the games for tonight, for those who are interested. Athletic Bilbao and Arsenal, 4:45. PSV Royal Union Saint-Gilloise, 4:45. The 7 p.m. games are as follows: Benfica, Karabakh, Juventus, Dortmund, Real Madrid, Marseille, and Tottenham Hotspur and Villarreal. Yeah, Kelvin.
Well, yes, Nathan, that's all. But I think one gentleman I really like, he's celebrating his birthday today.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he's called Enoch Lawson.
Enoch Lawson?
Yes, Lawson Stylish. If you see some of my very nice African prints, yes, he's the one who makes them.
Happy birthday to you, Enoch.
Yes. Yeah, we used to play football together. He was actually a better player. He should have played football. He decided that he wouldn't play the football after SHS and then decided to go into designing outfits. And I think he's one of the best you can have. God bless you, and may the good Lord continue to guide and protect you. He's at Ejuso, so my class, I would. You can just get to Ejuso, ask for Palfina Hotel, and he's just around that area. You find him. I know you love some very nice African prints, so you can locate him and get a couple for yourself.
Thank you. So happy birthday to you. Michael, you were saying something. Sorry, I missed that.
Oh, I know Enoch.
Oh, you know, you've been dealing with him.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you.
This guy. Hey, this guy.
Boys have plugs. You think? He's gone. He's dealing with the plug directly.
This guy.
All right, Michael. Thank you so much. Thank you to Kelvin.
Bye.
Thank you to our listeners. This has been the